The mod might be called Mayhem, but you still have these very contemplating, almost zen-like moments like these. There isn't really much happening. I'm slowly building up my empire, placing all these little factories. An occasional Xenon patrol is visiting our fortress sector, but most of them are actually traveling to harass the split, which I'm more than fine with, so we can focus on our industry. I'm still piss poor, but that is intended. I'm spending all my profits and income to get these stations going. And I'm setting another outpost up today, right in this sector. The other two here are already well developed. They aren't maxed out, but we're getting there. And this sector here is also very good to become a taxation sector, maybe, because of the high population. So we get a bit higher passive income. But let's first build the outpost. Yeah, up here between the gates. Looks good. And now the good thing about Mayhem 3 is really the improvements to logistics. Because you can see this sector needs fruit, and I can just load a preset logistics job preset, which I saved. I got one for all these food types and just load it. And it contains all the outposts which are producing the required food. And bam, with one click you can set this up. It's easier than ever. Couldn't do that in Mayhem 2. I'm also building a third large transport, and I'm going to queue up the agents for the new outpost. Let's start with one agent, one trader, and one looter. 3 ships should be fine. Now, what else could we use this sector for? It's currently producing chemicals from the factory I dropped in here to claim the sector. And up until now I have built my industry very decentralized, so there aren't many areas which are specialized to producing a certain type of good, except maybe here the mineral sector where all the ore is coming from. But all other sectors I want to keep very flexible and don't produce my resources all in one place, because if we get trouble in one area, then we can always rely on other areas. So the basic idea for the logistics in that game here is that I'm going to let my shipyards use very specialized logistics. So their agents will be mostly focusing on grabbing the parts required to build the ships. So I'm going to give, for example, this sector here is a shipyard, and I'm going to give their agents a very high range so that they can reach every other factory, but they will be limited to supplying the shipyard's needs mostly. So they are going to grab computers, for example. So I have computer factories in here, and an agent is going to make the jump with the jump beacon in here, grab the computers and deliver them to the shipyard. the agents from the shipyard won't be supplying the computer plant with microchips. That is where the local outpost is coming into play, and he will take care of all the intermediate products so that we have a maximum efficiency for our shipyard agents to grab the ship production resources. That is the basic plan. And I'm also going to set up multiple shipyards, but we will get to that. The best location I found so far is this sector here, because if we can get that whole area, then we will have 3 bonus perks for this shipyard, and that is very important. So I actually want to abandon my current shipyard and make that a secondary one, and then mostly level this one up and make it very powerful. Yeah, so this sector here, the new one, is also getting a very easy job. It's just supplying the local economy. So I'm going to keep the range very low. With 3 jumps, he should be able to reach everywhere where he needs to be. So I'm going to lower the worker range to 3. And we are loading a similar preset like the ones for our other low-level outposts, which don't have any other job, for example this one here. And as you can see, I leave the default logistics preset, the complete one, which includes all wares, but I make some adjustments. Some target levels are going to be set to local so that the agents are not going everywhere. And I'm also disabling certain jobs. So the agents will skip them. So for example, these secondary outposts, they won't go and grab these shipbuilding parts or the station construction parts. They will only focus on keeping the factories running. So that one is a good example. I'm going to copy that. I already have a preset saved, but I'm just going to override it again in case I made any changes since last time. And then we're going to our new outpost and append this preset from the other outpost, and that will add all the jobs. So this is just going to be a standard outpost which doesn't produce anything. It's just supporting the factories. It can reach, which is 3 jumps away. And the high priority jobs are reserved for the food. And the agent will try to get 20k. They try to get 20k fruit in this outpost. And they can choose between any of these 2 outposts which are producing fruit. And if you ever need to check your food needs and food productions and don't want to go over the map and memorize which sectors are producing what, you can just go into the logistics overview and then switch over to resources and, for example, click on fruit. And then we can see that we have 2 producers. And our mining sector has a lot of them on stock. So as soon as this outpost gets an agent, he's going to grab the fruit, and then this outpost will get people. And we might already unlock the taxation perk to get a bit of money once that happens and get a passive income. And this sector here is going to produce meat. So we could add that to our meat logistics template for future sectors.
Incoming message.
Oh, the third day has dawned. Yeah, I'm 3 days in and I have 95,000 credits. We're making huge progress. But it will pay off. Everything is, for the most part, working snugly. Some factories are still flashing yellow, especially these quantum tube factories. But I actually have the ore. There's just it's just have to keep up, and I'm lagging a bit behind. But I'm actually having everything set in place. I have my own station construction components now, and it just needs a bit of time to get going. But once it does, it should be running smooth, and we should also be making money from selling some resources. The research stations are also working quietly and steadily, and we are well into frigate research. And once that is done, or probably earlier, we're going to pull that stunt with this area here. I already got the reputation to claim the sector without going to war with the Teladi. And then we have a second shipyard and can start to pirate against the split.